What's up, y'all? It's your girl Jay Rene for Prison Riot Radio. Today we have another installation of The Other Side of the Game. Remember, this is some voice and journalism for those that are on this side of the G wall, that are, in the free world. So today we will be speaking with a mother whose son is incarcerated. How you doing, ma'am?
I'm doing fine, and you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Thank you for taking this time to sit with us to give us your perspective of, someone that's on this side of the wall when their loved one leaves.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. So tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from.
Well, my name is Sharon Wright. I'm from Charleston, South Carolina, born and raised there all my life. I'm a mother of two, James, which you know who I'm talking about, and my daughter, Tynesha Wright. And I'm also a grandmother of two and a great-grandmother of one of the grandchildren.
Oh, okay.
And I have been married before, but I'm divorced,
Okay.
so I'm single.
Okay. Thank you for the introduction. So let's get right into it. So your son James is the one that's incarcerated. How long has he been incarcerated?
Well, I believe James has been incarcerated for about 19 years now.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. And how long is he projected to stay behind bars?
Well, I really can't say on that right now. I mean, only God got the final words in this right now.
Right.
So I really can't speak on that behalf right now. I just don't know.
Yes, ma'am. I understand. So let me ask you, when your son got sentenced, like, what were you thinking or feeling for when that happened?
Well, first of all, it was one particular night I was home, and this was the night my son had stayed with me also for a little minute, and he was preparing to go out, and I was telling him, James, don't go out that door tonight. You need to get your life together, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And so he said, well, Mom, I don't need you to tell me what to do. You don't live your life, let me live mine. So maybe some hours after that, my daughter called me and said, Mom, cut the TV on. I put it on Channel 5. And when I put it on there, James Freeze was on there, and it was up there for murder. That just took the life out of my body. I mean, I fell literally to the floor. I couldn't even get back up. I couldn't even hardly breathe.
Right.
And at this time I was in a relationship, and so I had my companionship to help me and support me in that area at that time. But it was heartbreaking, and not knowing the aspect of what was going to come out of this as we prepare ourselves to go through the process of James being, locked up, and then, whatever else came, after that.
Yes, ma'am. They always say that mothers have this intuition, and I wish that our sons and daughters would listen a little more when mom tell us something. Y'all don't just be talking for it to hear yourselves. Y'all be having that intuition and that guidance. I wish that he would have listened to you. That night.
Well, the reason why I can say that and to speak honestly about where my life was at that time, I was just beginning to go through the process of recovery.
Right.
My drug of choice was crack cocaine, and this happened to take place when I was married to their father, who got it in the mix with some people, and one thing led to another. So that's why I could, feel that, tell him where his life was going, in that direction. So that's pretty much, what led James out there in the first place,
Yes, I understand. So let me ask you, how has things been since he's been gone, like his absence?
Well, it's pretty hard. It's pretty hard, like birthdays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, his birthday, stuff like that. I just not even seeing him on a daily basis,
Right.
It's still hard for me to grasp sometimes, because I keep pictures of him on the refrigerator ever since he was a little boy. And, his youth, I have a picture of that. But it's just trying to grasp, all of this. Because at one point I did live behind the wall with James, and I was fighting myself with it because I thought I was the fault for it for a long, long time. And I got sick on account of that. I had to start taking depression medicine. I had to go to mental health. And, there's a lot of other things that caused me to have the situation of the illness that I did have on behalf of what I was going through with my son. But I miss him a whole lot. My heart hurts every time we talk on the telephone. He's depressed. If I'm feeling any type of spirit in between the lines of the conversation on the phone, then I have to tell him I have to go because I don't want to cry. And it hurts a whole lot just to know he want to get out there and, be with his mama and do whatever he's got to do. So it's very hard. My family members don't even have the kind of inkling that I have with my son, out of thought or whatever, out of connection. But for me, it's mind-boggling.
Yes, ma'am. I could definitely understand that. So let me ask you this, on a positive note, what do you be thinking and feeling when you hear about his accomplishments, even though, he's incarcerated?
Wow. I'm overwhelmed. I mean, if things hadn't had happened the way it did when James was coming up as a child, and then the things that I was going through with his father, whereas I could have paid more attention of what James had as a talent and a gift, and to say where he's at right now with it, it's overwhelming. I pray God would bless him, whatever God he prays, worship, give him what he's looking for in all aspect of what he's doing. I never known James was this brilliant, this smart, this talent, this gifted. He's a golden child of mine. I feel in a lot of areas of my life, and with all of that and him not being here, and he could have done all of this out here, ain't no telling where my son's life could have been right now, and including mine, because I'm his mother, and I'm sure he wouldn't have forget me out of his blessings.
Of course not.
But it's just, it's so hard just to swallow a lot of things, Sometimes I be in here and I cry.
Yes,
I really do cry. And like today when I got off, I had a meeting with my job, but I came home and thought about a lot of things and, just asked God why. We're not supposed to question God, but you just want to understand what the reason and the purpose is,
Yes.
But I'm proud of him. I'm very proud of James. I really am.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you on his behalf and of behalf of all the sons and daughters that, who mothers are out here holding them down. It can be really hard, not only like mentally, but on your heart, because that's your baby,
Yes.
So we definitely appreciate you in the things that you do for him. So is there any special message that you would like for him to know, or not even just him, just a young man that's out there that might be, leading down the wrong path?
Well, to all the young men that are out there, if you're out there doing what you're doing to get in trouble, because it's hard to, get out your bed and go out there and get in something and then you can't get out of it. Sometimes money can't even take our children out of the situation. Because the way this world is and the way where we got the white folks at, and I don't mean to sound so out there, but most of the time this is what takes our children.
Yes, ma'am.
And for the love of God, I mean, if you got anything going on as education, talent, use that. My son is sitting on a natural life sentence. I don't even know if I'll see my son before God closes my eye. Maybe I'll get another visit pretty soon here. But, just to actually have him here, I don't wish that on no mothers to go through, because that's just totally something that a lot of us just can't deal with at certain times, and if any guy, young lady out there doing anything of crime, please, for the love of God, because it's your life. Mm-hmm. It's your life that you give into the state, you know?
Yes,
and it's not worth it. I don't think it's worth it at all. And then not knowing if you will ever be free again, you know?
Yes,
and it just leaves parents heartbroken, especially true parents who care about their children a whole lot. And no matter what that happened in that parent life or whatever, that mother, she's always going to be a mother. A father will be a father as well. If he is a father, more likely it's the mothers who always carry the pain and the burden.
Yes, ma'am.
So, I give that out to all of y'all mans and y'all ladies. Get your life together, because life is not nothing to play with. It's not a game.
Right.
It's not a game, So
yes, ma'am.
That's the shout out. And then for my son, I want to say I'm very proud of him. I miss him. I love him so much. I told him I might even cry when I shared, some of the things you might have asked me.
Yes,
but since we didn't really get into the depth of it, but my heart is pretty much still full, when I share with my son is that any part of my life, which I don't have a problem sharing, because that helps other people in their area coming out of their cells.
That's right.
So, that's the way I feel about the whole thing. So I just pray that our children to see, what can really happen when they get out there and do wrong. And this is, the cost they pay.
Yes, ma'am.
And I don't have the money, because if I've been rich, I would probably give everything, buy a judge, buy a lawyer, whatever, just to get them out there.
Right.
I always told James I had this thing, if I could dig a hole underneath the prison and take them out,
Right. Right. I understand. I definitely understand. Well, like I said, we appreciate you very much. We thank you for, being a good mom.
Thank you so much for having me, and I appreciate your time and your effort and everything that you're doing out there to show people where other family members are at and what they're going through and how they struggle with the pain and, everything else that comes along with it. And especially if you got a talented child, gifted child, and you're saying to yourself, why couldn't been here,
Yes, ma'am.
But I appreciate you too, Miss Jay Rene. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, then.
Well, this is Jay Rene with The Other Side of the Game, okay? She gave y'all some excellent advice, that's from the heart of a mother. So y'all keep that in mind. This is Jay Rene with Prison Riot Radio. Peace.